Today we're going to tackle a question from the Dirty Christian. Roll it.
Alright guys, so I'll be the first person to admit that I don't know a lot about a ton of stuff. And so I'm going to say this straight up, that I don't know a lot about atheism.
BAM! Luckily, Godless Cranium is here to answer thy question. That was my best superhero voice. I know, it's shit.
But I have some questions for atheists.
Okay. Shoot, my good man, Dirty Christian. But just remember...
None of you seem to understand. I'm not locked in here with you. You're locked in here with me!
That I'm trying to understand myself. It appears to me that most atheists are Western influenced, typically white, and typically male.
Well, according to the Pew Research Center, atheists in general are more likely to be male and younger than the overall population. 68% are men, and the median age of atheist adults in the U.S. is 34, compared with 46 for all U.S. adults. Atheists also are more likely to be white, 78% are Caucasian versus 66 for the general public, and highly educated. About 4 in 10 atheists, 43%, have a college degree, compared with 27% of the general public. So in a general sense, your observations would appear to be correct so far, at least in the United States, which I'm going to assume is where you live. Given that they're living in a Western country, it would make sense that they're Western influenced. If you went to a non-Western country, you'd likely find that atheists living there would be influenced by their own culture.
Now there are some female atheists out there, and they typically subscribe to very militant feminism.
I'm not sure why you think most of them would be militant feminists. I would say that there are feminist atheists, which is evident from the whole Atheist Plus movement that tried to marry ideologies such as feminism with atheism, but I wouldn't necessarily jump to the conclusion that they're the majority.
So my question is, and this is just from stuff that I've watched, because again, I don't have an interest in trying to disprove atheism or anything like that. I literally I don't understand why.
You seem like a very nice person, which is why I'm going to try and answer your questions as politely as possible. So hit me with your question.
Why is it that most atheists debate and try to tear down Christianity?
Christianity is a dominant religion in North America. It would make sense that most atheists living in a Christian-dominated area would focus most of their attention on the religion that would affect their personal lives the most. That doesn't mean that atheists wouldn't challenge other faith groups either.
I don't see a lot of atheists debating Buddhists or Muslims or Jews. It's mostly Christians that they debate against.
I think I've already explained this, but I do agree that many atheists shy away from criticizing Islam, and I think a lot of that has to do with Islam often being equated with race. So if you criticize Islam, you may be branded as a racist or an Islamophobe. I don't agree with that, and I wish more vocal critical atheists would criticize other religions such as Islam with the same fervor they do Christianity. However, I also want to point out from a personal standpoint that it's much easier for me to criticize Christian ideas because I used to be a Christian. I understand the religion better and the way it is practiced. I spent my childhood learning about it. I was surrounded by other Christians, and I can't say the same for Islam. I'm sure I'm not the only one that feels that way.
Why, if you don't believe that God exists, why do you have to spend so much time convincing others of the same thing?
According to the same Pew study, I could ask you the same thing about Christians. In the 2014 Religious Landscape Study, self-identified atheists were asked how often they share their views on God and religion with religious people. Only about 1 in 10 atheists, 9%, say they do at least weekly, while roughly 2/3, 65%, say they seldom or never discuss their views on religion with religious people. By comparison, 26% of those who have a religious affiliation share their views at least once a week with those who have other beliefs. 43% say they seldom or never do. It sounds like Christians are guiltier of this than atheists. But regardless, what's wrong with sharing ideas? I know I often debate Christians or other religious people because it helps sharpen my own reasoning. I'm curious about how religious people feel and think, what motivates them, what evidence do they have for their position. I even like hearing about their personal stories. There are many reasons why someone might debate Christians and vice versa. And why not? Let's have that discussion and let the best ideas win out.
Unless you want to know why I love Jesus and why I think that Jesus is real, I'm not going to spend my time convincing you of that.
That's cool, but street preachers would disagree with you. Missionaries would disagree with you. Evangelicals would disagree with you.
And again, that's why I don't really know a lot about atheism, because I don't have enough time to focus on my belief in Jesus Christ to focus on your non-belief in a God.
No offense intended here, but it sounds like you have formed a belief without listening to the opposing arguments. Wouldn't your faith be worth more if you came to the conclusion that it was true after first honestly and openly looking at all the available evidence?
It seems counterproductive for me. It seems more like it should be live and let live.
Live and let live is great. I don't know of any atheists saying you shouldn't be able to practice your religion. That doesn't mean that your ideas shouldn't be criticized and questioned in the open marketplace of ideas.
If your pursuit is intelligence, that's great. My pursuit is intelligence also. I very much believe in science. I very much believe in a lot of things that you believe too.
I'm sure that's true. I bet we have a lot in common outside of religion. For example, I'm looking at your sweet wall and drooling.
Except for I believe that there is a God and you believe that there isn't. So I just want to understand why, if you are so adamant about a God's non-existence, why do you spend so much time convincing other people of his non-existence as well?
I hope I've answered your questions. I think all ideas should be open to criticism and questioning. Your religion included, my atheism included. Anyhow, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Cheers!